Good evening, I'm Grace Randolph, and tonight we're going to see if a reputation can be murdered. You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Hitchcock.
Good afternoon. This book, Psycho, is fiendishly entertaining.
Is this really going to be your next picture?
Charming. Doris Day should do it as a musical.
This is Mr. Hitchcock's next film.
Fine, if you can get the money.
Who do I make it out?
Why are you letting him do something so tasteless?
Don't upset yourself, darling. It's only a bloody movie.
More anger! More!
How does it end?
I promised Mother I wouldn't tell.
For decades, Alfred Hitchcock has been regarded as one of the most famous and unique directors in the history of cinema. Yet this year, 2 films seek to show the terrible price others paid for his genius. The first was HBO's The Girl, based on Tippi Hedren's scandalous accusations that Hitchcock sexually harassed her, and then, when she rebuffed his advances, ruined her career. But with that project, it was hard to differentiate between the truth and the bitterness of a failed actress whose stories about Hitchcock get more and more salacious the more attention she gets for them. But now comes Hitchcock, which focuses on a defining time in the director's career, where he bet it all on a little film called Psycho and ended up creating the enormously successful slasher genre. Which is interesting, as for Psycho, he stripped away the trademark glamour of his usual films, fully exposing the exploration of sex and psychosis that had always been present in his work. And in some way, documentary director and first-time filmmaker Sasha Gervasi has done the same here. Gone is the reverence with which Hitchcock is usually regarded, and Hitchcock's own voyeuristic camera is turned on him. Some have found the result to be spellbinding, while others straight up camp, the new Mommy Dearest, if you will. But I loved Mommy Dearest, and while it might have been a very one-sided look at Joan Crawford's personal life, it was true to that one side, her adopted daughter, Christina Crawford. And here in Hitchcock, Gervasi is true to the perspective of Hitchcock's wife and apparent collaborator, Alma. A big deal was made of Kathryn Bigelow being the first woman to win the Oscar for Best Director, but it seems that women have been influential in film for quite some time, only in the shadows of their husbands. Fascinatingly, Marcia Lucas was another editor, just like Alma, who single-handedly saved her husband's film in the editing room. Perhaps it is time that these women get their due. After all, isn't one of Hitchcock's most famous themes revenge? Do you believe this movie is true?
I think it is.
Yeah.
As far as what I know of Alfred Hitchcock, I mean, I don't know his life story completely.
I've read books on Hitchcock, and I read the book that this was based on, and the bit about his wife possibly having an affair, or him thinking she was having an affair, I don't remember any of that.
Okay.
Plus, I mean, his basic hallucinations with Ed Gein and all that sort of thing. I know it was based on Ed Gein, but I think they added a lot of that stuff.
Well, how do you like learning about the personal life of an artist? Or would you
I
rather
love
just?
it.
Oh,
No,
you do.
I love learning about that.
Why
yes.
do you like it so much?
Because I think it gives you an insight. I think it gives you an insight where he comes from in his films, and there's so much of his personal background that comes into a film anyway, of any artist. I think so. It's really, to me, it makes it exciting.
Well, what do you think of taking that kind of liberty?
I don't know. I was sitting in the movie wondering what his daughter must think of it, because his daughter is, if you get the DVDs of his films, his daughter is always prominently interviewed, and she was in Psycho, actually.
And she's still alive.
Yeah, she's still alive. And I'm wondering what she thought of that film. It actually occurred to me while I was watching the movie, because we all know that Hitchcock he had a lot of problems, obviously.
But that many, right?
I'm not sure if he had that many, but maybe he did.
Did it change how you felt about him at all as a director?
No, in fact, I think I liked him more.
Oh, really?
Because he was so real, and he had a difficult career, but I know a lot of artistic people have difficult careers.
I mean, I thought it was an interesting movie.
Yeah?
I mean, after a while, I kind of stopped thinking about Hitchcock and just started thinking about Anthony Hopkins as Hitchcock. I did think, by the way, Helen Mirren was a little bit too glamorous to play Alma. I've seen pictures of Alma. And, not to say anything disparaging, but she just doesn't look as good as Helen Mirren.
Just a different character.
I mean, I've seen Helen Mirren in other films, and she's still a very attractive woman.
Did Anthony Hopkins disappear into the role for you?
I thought so.
Well, it sounds really like you really liked the movie.
I loved it.
Oh, good. Well, it's getting. Some people just say it's like tasteless camp. What do you say to those people who said that about the film?
Well, everyone has their taste.
True.
À chacun son goût, as the French would say, to each his own taste. But
Yeah.
I think it's, as you say, it's just their opinion. But I just think the majority of people of my friends and people I know are going to love this film.
Oh, why do you
I'm
think
gonna
that
highly
is?
recommend it
Why do you like it so much?
Because it gives you a whole insight into Alfred Hitchcock and that idea of the way he made the film Psycho. It makes so much sense.
I would recommend it. I mean, but then again, I mean, a lot of people today don't really know Hitchcock. The younger people today don't know Hitchcock. I don't really think they know or they really care all
That's
that
a
much
shame.
about him. So it's only the film buffs who are really going to be into this movie. Like a couple months ago, they showed the birds here. They had one of these Fathom event showing of the
Yeah.
birds right in this theater, and I stayed to see it. And I noticed something very interesting in that. People were laughing during the bird attack sequences, and I was truly shocked. And I wanted to turn to some people laughing and say, I don't think Hitchcock meant this film to be a
Yeah,
comedy.
no.
But they were hysterical. They were attacking the school and the kids lying on the ground. People were laughing, and I said, I don't know. I'm not sure if the audience is the same today as they were when Hitchcock
that's
was
an
making
interesting
these
question.
movies.
What would you give this film on a 1 to 10?
9.5.
I would give this film an 8.
So if you're a Hitchcock fan and you don't mind your biographies with a grain of salt, you might want to check out Hitchcock in theaters. Otherwise, it sounds like you can wait for the DVD. And be sure to participate in Beyond the Trailers poll of the top 10 movies of 2012. Go to tinyurl.com/BTTvote2012 to cast your vote by January 3rd. A link is in the video description. I'm Grace Randolph reporting from Regal Union Square, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies.